Today's edition of the Cowboys Report is made possible by True Classic. I'm rocking one of their polls. We'll tell you all about them later on in today's show. We get 25% off by going to trueclassic.com/chatsports25 and using promo code chatsports25. The big NFL news of the day absolutely ties into the Dallas Cowboys. The Broncos have leaked they are going to cut, not announced directly, but they've leaked it. They're going to cut Randy Gregory, the former Cowboy, who the team wanted to pay. So should the Cowboys bring him home? I think this is a more viable conversation than some of the other ones of players who inevitably get linked to the Dallas Cowboys. We will break it all down, but first, we did not lead the way in shares this past month of September. In fact, we were way behind the Niners, the Bears, and the Raiders kicked our butts. Now, I feel very confident saying that many of you are asking, should we sign Randy Gregory? So for any friends you have or whoever, social media, if you want the answer to that question and a good in-depth conversation on it, then share today's video. Twitter, Facebook, X, Instagram, text it, whatever. Share today's video for me right now. So Randy Gregory is going to be released by the Denver Broncos. That'll be made official in theory later on this Wednesday. This is a player who the Cowboys liked. They stood by for a long time as Gregory battled a variety of issues, had a tough time staying on the football field, and they wanted to keep him. The Cowboys in Gregory's camp had agreed to a 5-year, $70 million deal. We were live for that on the channel, and then it fell apart. There was issues with some of the language used in the contract. Denver said, hey, we'll take out that language. Gregory ends up signing with the Broncos. Their defense has been a mess this year, and now they're cutting Gregory a year and a couple of months into that contract. Now, the first question you got to answer is, okay, why is the player available? Now, Denver says they want to focus on younger players. Gregory does turn 31 in November, and he has not been good this year. Very few players have been good on that Broncos defense. That is worth mentioning. But he was also playing very well last year. In fact, I think was trending towards a career year before he unfortunately ended up getting hurt. Now, maybe the injury is a big factor in that front. And there's also maybe the elephant in the room. Gregory's not on the Cowboys because of a disastrous contract negotiation. Now, with, of course, the benefit of hindsight, Dallas was lucky that they did not sign him. It's kind of like the A.J. McCarron botched facts. Like, the team tried to do it. Didn't happen, but they were able to avoid it there in the end. I don't think Gregory would have been as bad had he ended up signing with the Cowboys, but you have to actually make sure that all parties involved, the Jones boys, Gregory, most notably Gregory's agents, it's all kumbaya, right? They're over their issues that happened a couple of off seasons ago. A lot more to come on this topic, but the burning question is today's pinned comment. Do you want to bring back Randy Gregory? Y for yes, N for no. It's going to be the pinned comments on today's show. So if that ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know in the comment section. Let's talk some more here on Randy Gregory. I think you owe it to yourself to at least have this conversation. I think it'd be kind of foolish if you did not have the conversation. This is a player the team wanted to pay and had success with. The Cowboys always say that they like their guys, right? This is technically one of their guys. I mean, Jerry stuck by him for a long time. And it's not like you're going to pay him 5 years, $70 million this time around. This is going to be probably the vet minimum, maybe a little bit more if there's something resembling a bidding war, although given his down year, I'm not convinced that would end up being the case. So more often than not, I throw cold water on the player release, player trade rumors, like, the Cowboys typically don't go that way. This is one that I think you actually should have a conversation on because it's a player you know. You can never have too many pass rushers. There is that familiarity, and he'd be pretty cheap. Now, there are some very real cons, the availability being one of the major ones there. We will get into that here, but first, today's show, like I mentioned, made possible by True Classic. I'm rocking one of their polos, and as the weather begins to cool as fall arrives, it's time to break out my favorite jeans from True Classic, and t-shirts and sweatshirts and more. You got hoodies, by the way. Football season's in full swing, and there's nothing better than watching our favorite teams in these ultra-comfortable, perfect-fitting essentials. I'm a big fan of True Classic. We've mentioned them many a time before here on the Cowboys Report, mostly the polos or the dress shirts or the t-shirts, but they have hoodies, by the way. They have jeans as well. Their shorts are also super duper comfortable. You will love the True Classic gear. I got some for my dad and my father-in-law back on Father's Day. I might just get them some more, maybe some of the hoodies, for example, for Christmas this time, because they really liked it previously. I think they'll like that as well. Get 25% off by going to trueclassic.com/chatsports25 and using promo code chatsports25. It should auto-populate, should auto-apply, but just in case, that's the promo code to use. Link and the code will be in the comments section and the description of today's video. Gregory, when he was with Dallas, the raw numbers might not always indicate it, but although he's not really a great run stopper, he was very impactful as a pass rusher. He was really, really good in that area, and that came despite not playing that much, I suppose, with Micah Parsons. There's only a handful of games those two really got to be together, with Micah being the full-time edge. So that seems at least worth mentioning and discussing as part of this conversation. You have a player available who becomes one of the best free agents out there. You have to at least consider that conversation. Now, Gregory in 9 games for Denver, he was playing better in 2022 before he got hurt, had the knee injury, and now Denver's going to play guys like Nick Bonito, which I think actually does make some sense for them because they're not a very good football team. Sacks can be deceptive, right? Of like how much are you actually impacting the play? Look at what Randy Gregory has done over the course of his career. His pressure rates, which I think is a better future indicator of play, had gone up. 2018, maybe we spent it all of 2019. 2020 was doing well. 2021 was at 14% is a fantastic number. You finished the year with 14%, you had a great year as a pass rusher. He was averaging 17.5% pressure rate. To put that in perspective, you know, do you guys remember how great this Cowboys pass rush has been early on this season? Everyone's getting home. Everyone's eating so far, early on at least in the season. The top players for the Cowboys, just to make sure I got my notes right before I actually say it out loud here, they're like at 18%. Tank Lawrence is at 17.4%. Dorrance Armstrong's at 18% flat. He's putting out basically that 2022 start would be a top 10 pass rush rate right now in the NFL among edge rushers. Now, he hasn't done that this year. He's not been as good. Is it the injury? Is it age? Did he lose a step? You have to figure that stuff out, but maybe just Denver was bad. It's a pretty steep drop-off for 1 year suddenly. Now, if Randy signs, we'll have a video for you, and we'll be live plenty early for our Cowboys 49ers watch party. Make sure you guys are subscribed, youtube.com/CowboysTV. There's also this part too, one of the cons, right? Beyond like the down dip and play this year. Do you actually need an edge rusher? And how do you fill that roster spot? The Cowboys have Micah Parsons. They have Tank Lawrence. They have Dorrance Armstrong. They have Sam Williams. They have Dante Fowler. They also have Viliami Fehoko. That's a really good front five of pass rushers. Dan Quinn could have some fun, though, if he brought out, imagine it's third and 12. The opposing team's down by 10, 13 in the fourth quarter. You're going to put Micah Parsons out there, and Tank Lawrence out there, and Randy Gregory's out there, and Sam Williams or Dante Fowler or Dorrance Armstrong, and you can keep Osa out there if you want. And you have the world's most ridiculous NASCAR package ever. If you get back to the original version, or at least last year's version, of Randy Gregory. Plus, it covers you off in the event, knock on wood, of an injury if you think Randy can return to form. That is not necessarily a guarantee since he's been down this year. So do the Cowboys need another pass rusher? 1 for yes, 0 for no. Get those votes in for me in the comment section. Now, when it comes to finding the roster spot, I think the simplest answer would be not to release Viliami Fehoko, but maybe you could have, he tweaked his knee at practice type of deal, do the old injury stash. You're not technically can't fake injuries, but I think Velko would be on board with that. He's been inactive every game this year. He's not, I think, ready to play. He missed some time early on in camp/preseason, so I would stash him in the event you wanted to add Randy Gregory. Few more notes here. Now, Denver will try to trade Randy Gregory. That is why you leaked that out, well before noon on a Wednesday. You leaked that information out to try to get a nibble or two on, hey, and even if it's like you eat the base salary and do a pick swap like the Patriots and Chargers did with J.C. Jackson, that's better than getting absolutely nothing for the player. I'm also not trading for him. I'll keep my assets. Even if Denver eats all the money, like I don't know if you want to go trade for him, like bring him in. I think you want to do some more vet work on that front there. I'm not worried about the off-field stuff with Randy, by the way. Like his stuff was just weed. It's not like it was, more than that with Josh Gordon or a bunch of other legal issues like other players have had on this team in recent years. It was just weed. I'm not that concerned about it. So I have interest. I'm not saying it's going to happen. There are very real cons against doing it. You don't need an editor necessarily. He's been up and down. You got to make sure that the two camps are okay with each other. That was a disastrous breakup of those two sides. But I think you owe it to yourself as a contending team to at least explore if you want to add Randy Gregory back to the Dallas Cowboys.